So
We have to
this
go down, baby.
is Who Are You, Ashton Savoy by Melanie E. Moore. Interior trading floor day. A female hand scrolls a text from Ashton Savoy on a cell. Imagined scene. Interior train cabin night. The regional train totters along the winding coast of the Mediterranean Sea, its few passengers asleep. Elspeth Galbraith, mid-40s, striking, well-appointed, and Ashton Savoy, handsome late 40s with brown puppy dog eyes, flirt opposite each other in elegant party clothes.
You.
A large man snores at the end of their cabin. Elspeth slips her spaghetti strap off her shoulder. Her sparkling shawl shimmies down her back.
Now, you.
Ashton unbuttons his crisp white shirt.
You.
Elspeth unbuckles the thin strap of her right high heel, teases her foot onto the tip of his seat.
I'll see you too for that.
Ashton cradles her foot in his hands, navigates his way further up her leg, caresses the back of her calf.
I'll raise you 4.
Elspeth edges her foot onto his chest. The train lurches. Her foot rockets towards his lap. Ashton catches it.
Oh yeah, I'll take that bet.
Ashton parts her knees, eyes locked. The large man grumbles, moves about. Elspeth and Ashton freeze. The man settles, sputters out some snores, sneaks a peek at them through the reflection, game back on.
What's your bet now, sir?
Double or nothing.
Ooh, done.
Ashton's hands inch up further. Elspeth leans into him. Their bottle of champagne edges out of their bag on the shelf above Ashton. Elspeth sees it.
Ashton.
My love?
The bottle tips, teeters, falls. Elspeth catches it. The large man remains asleep.
Nice reflexes.
Double or nothing, you said.
Elspeth arches back into her seat. Ashton stands. Their train creaks around a peninsula. Ashton swoons into her. Kaboom! A firework display on the water explodes outside the window. Fingers snap off screen. End imagined scene. Interior trading floor day. Kristen Bennett, mid-40s, spicy troublemaker, snaps her fingers at Elspeth from the desk beside her.
Hello, Earth to Elspeth. What are you?
Elspeth looks up, puts her phone down.
Nothing.
Danny Bishop, 50s, harried, papers in hand, speeds by.
Danny boy's on the move.
Maybe a new bond.
Steve-O, 40s, nervous HR dude, rushes after Danny boy.
Wait, you didn't just languish after him one bit just now.
Elspeth's cell dings 3 times.
There's your nothing again.
Probably my dad.
Your dad.
Danny rushes into the glass side room. He slams the door shut. Steve-O shoves it open, slams it shut too, yelling. Elspeth types on their shared Bloomberg terminal, blank.
No new bond yet.
Kristen nabs Elspeth's phone, a message from Ashton Savoy. Kristen stretches it out of Elspeth's reach. She reads.
I knew it. About time you're online. Ashton Savoy. Pretty cute. But what's this? I pray I can have the opportunity bullshit.
Elspeth snatches back her phone.
He could be something really...
Danny boy comes flying out of the side room, runs to the sales desk. Elspeth types in NIM. New bond issue details appear on the screen. Ontario 2.90%, June the 2nd, 2028, $2 billion. Steve-O squirms down the aisle, stops at Elspeth's desk. A minute, Els.
Here we go.
Elspeth hits send on her new issue email. A fire alarm rings.
Saved by the bell.
Elspeth opens her drawer for her fire warden vest. She evacuates the floor. Kristen and Steve-O help. Heidi, 40s, panicked, bolts down the aisle towards the 70th floor window. Elspeth races after her.
Heidi, no.
Heidi trips, falls, winces, grabs her ankle. Elspeth rushes to her, elevates her ballooning ankle.
Let me see.
Elspeth hands her vest to Kristen.
I'll help, Heidi. You take over.
Kristen evacuates the rest of the floor.
Steve-O, ice cream from the freezer.
Steve-O hurries to the kitchen. Elspeth nabs a first aid kit. Steve-O hands Elspeth the ice. She wraps Heidi's ankle.
I think it's broken. Oh, don't worry about me. Go down. No way. Steve-O, give me a hand.
Elspeth and Steve-O help Heidi up. False alarm, return to your desks. Elspeth steadies Heidi.
I'll take Heidi to hospital.
But
Get my purse and phone, Steve-O.
Steve-O grabs her purse and phone, hands them to her. But it's important. Elspeth's phone buzzes. Her screen reads Ashton Savoy. She smiles, puts it away.
We'll talk tomorrow, Steve-O.
She hobbles Heidi towards the elevator. Interior, Elspeth's bedroom, early morning. Elspeth sleeps sprawled out on her sheets. Her cell rings, caller ID, Ashton Savoy. She picks up.
How beautiful are you today?
Elspeth stretches into her answer.
Wouldn't you like to know? I'm hot. Very hot.
Oh, God, don't say that. I have to thank you for the money transfer.
No big deal. Now, where were we?
Your cheeks.
She feels her face, finds an earplug stuck on her cheek.
Flushed.
Your hair.
Elspeth looks in the mirror. Her hair is everywhere.
Tousled. Bedhead messy.
Fuck, I want you.
A gust of wind blows her curtains open, reveals a swathe of windows outside. She rushes them closed, dives back in bed.
No time. I have to get to the gym.
Always time, my love, for romance.
She looks at the clock, releases her covers a little.
I might have a few minutes.
Ashton doesn't miss a beat. She puts him on speaker mode.
I'm kissing your delicious curves.
Elspeth traces her fingers along her hips, moans. Her alarm buzzes. Elspeth slams it off. Interior, obstacle course gym, morning. Elspeth's younger sister, Aldian Galbraith, 40s, biracial, athletic, intellectual, and some gym rats are at the bottom of a 20-foot cargo net. Elspeth clutches the steel bar up top.
Come on, sis, you've got this.
Your exposure therapy idea sucks.
You've done this a million times.
Yeah, Roger Eldon.
Elspeth creaks her 1 foot up.
That's it. Careful now, careful.
Oh, God.
The cell in Alden's hand buzzes. She looks at the screen.
A little attention up here.
My bad.
Aldian puts the cell away. Elspeth edges her other leg up, stops, glances down at the glass case, freezes on a picture of her holding a trophy.
Yep, here you go.
Everyone yells encouragement to her. Flashback. Interior Elspeth's living room, night. Danny boy packs his clothes from the couch into a suitcase. Elspeth gathers up some of his shirts.
We have to talk about this.
She falters up the stairs. One shirt escapes. She trips, despairs in a heap at the bottom. Danny boy zips up the suitcase, leaves. End flashback. Interior obstacle course gym, continuous. Elspeth puts both legs back down, no dice. Continuous. Crumples back down the wrong side of the net. Everybody still cheers.
Good try. You'll do it next time.
She helps Elspeth get up.
I'll never get over it.
Alden hands Elspeth back her cell. Multiple text messages vibrate. Elspeth steals a look, puts it away.
Baby steps, sis. Is that Dad?
No, not Dad.
They load up a weight sled with 45-pound plates. Elspeth goes first. Aldian leaps eye to eye in front of her.
So, who was it?
A guy from online. Ashton Savoy.
Aldian locks steps backwards with her.
Let me see.
Elspeth propels the weight sled to the end. Aldian's turn. Elspeth shows her Ashton's picture on her cell.
Cute. Divorced?
Widowed.
Aldian pushes the sled. Elspeth spurs her on.
No ex-wife?
Aldian.
I'm just saying.
An architect. Very romantic.
Have you met?
Aldian parks the weight sled. They swing on monkey bars.
He's on a project in London.
Eyes wide open.
They fly off the monkey bars, head back to the cargo line.
Oh, come on, Ashton lives in Leesdale, Leeside. Let a girl have some fun. It's almost a year since fuck shit left.
What's his address?
We haven't got there yet.
Tell me you didn't send him any nude shots or money.
Elspeth rolls her eyes. Alden whips over the cargo net and nails it. Interior trading floor day. Kristen reads Elspeth's email on screen, points at it.
I think it says, I think it stays a 5.
Kristen looks at her screen, then back to Elspeth's.
Why even question you?
Elspeth's phone rings. She picks up.
Okay, Brian.
Elspeth grabs her PowerPoint presentation papers.
Brian wants to see me.
That's it, guys. Thank you. Thoughts? Anyone?
Yeah. There was, I found there was an issue with lacking of punctuation. There were a lot of full stops rather than commas or question marks were a bit sparse. It was difficult to get the tone of the sentences, and therefore some of them didn't quite make sense. It was also a little bit of loss of who was talking to who. I wasn't quite sure who was responding to somebody else at certain times. I didn't know where or when we were. I thought we were talking about James Bond at first. I thought he was a geek who was really into James Bond. There was no like context. I believe halfway through, are they sort of in stocks and shares perhaps? I don't know, but that would have been very useful to know at the beginning. There were some good visuals in there. Maybe the characters might need a little bit more definition. They all read dialogue-wise quite samey, but I'm interested to see what happens with it.
Oh, okay, thanks. John?
It was all over the place. I just, it's the same as Catherine, you know, I mean, the way it just bounces left, right and centre, the way it started off on the train and all that, I thought, oh, this is the 1940s, and then suddenly we're not. We're modern day, I'm assuming, and it just literally bounces all over the place. But
Okay, thanks. Erin?
Well, in the bond part, it does say trading floor, but there's no like explanation. So maybe, and I think like a lot of what I found too is it's kind of going back and forth really short, almost like it's almost like a full staccato song. Like there's no, like, if that makes sense, like I think maybe have some more meat and potatoes in the conversation instead of just keeping like it going back and forth, you know, because I think that, but I think like, I've never seen imagined scene before. Is that supposed to be like a dream sequence? I've never seen that.
So. I think so, yeah.
I mean, I think it's the whole concept is really interesting though. Like I like reading the premise makes me want to read more. Not necessarily, I don't kind of get really where it's going or what's happening yet. But reading the log line kind of, I'm like, okay, I'd like to learn more about this whole Ashton Savoy situation. And she's obviously being catfished. So, and obviously it seems like, and then the little like Danny boy kind of being her ex-boyfriend, like that was kind of neat. Like I didn't really see that coming. So I kind of liked that. But yeah. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's a great idea. I think it just needs a little bit of finessing more than anything. The format isn't too far off, but that imagined scene is in the wrong place. You're right. I mean, not the scene itself, the words, imagined scene on the page
Yeah.
shouldn't be there. That's not right. I think what it is the action is very staccato. It's very like, I know we've said before that a script is an instruction manual with a story. It's not quite this instructional. You know, it's like, this feels like it's do this, go there, be this, do that. And like, you need to flesh it out a little bit more. I think all that action in the office when the bell rings, you know, when the fire alarm rings, that kind of happens too fast. There was a point where I was thinking, he's going to the kitchen, but suddenly in the same paragraph, literally the same line, he's back with them. I mean, I know he'd be running and back, but I don't think it'd happen like instantaneously, you know. So I think it's just a little bit of thought about those kind of things. I agree with you about the characters. I think that they are kind of samey insofar as their language is the same all the time. They have
They're
the
all
same,
very clipped as well. Just like
very
the scene,
clipped. There's
all the language is
same
incredibly one or
reaction.
two.
Yeah. I understand. I realize that it's a trading floor, and on a trading floor, everybody's quite kind of, you know, jumpy. It's all adrenaline constantly, but I think you've got to have a little bit of light and shade in there. Other than that, I would like to know. I wasn't really sure about the flashback with Danny.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why we need that at this point. But then I'm anti-flashbacks in general anyway, so you know. I think there's another way to say that, and yeah. But other than that, I would like to know how it pans out. I think it's an interesting premise. That's it, really.
I think maybe the language, especially with, you know, when she's got her broken ankle, if the character is somebody that talks rather clipped and stuff permanently, then that's okay. But even in an emergency situation, unless there's sociopathic perhaps, they would have some kind of urgency. Someone's hurt themselves, they're injured. It wouldn't be so just 1, 2, 3 words, go get this, okay, done.
And
bye.
also the woman that's hurt her leg, she's going to be in agony.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, this hurts, oh shit, this is, you know.
Yeah, it's a broken ankle, that hurts. I've had one.
There's going to be a lot of expletives,
she
and
broke
a lot
her
of
ankle.
kind of get me out of here, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to pick the kids up, or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
especially if she's broken her ankle. I mean,
exactly.
I have done that myself, and it is seriously painful.
Yeah.
And if you have somebody, maybe a character is like that, and they talk like that, they speak like that, that's fine. But everybody else has to be completely different.
Yes.
It has to have definition between the characters, because if you're going to have someone that has a particular way of speaking, you can't give it to everybody else as well, unfortunately. Because then
exactly.
See everybody.
No, you've got to have some.
Okay.
Your cat's head's just blurred.
Good idea, though. I would like to see.
I would like to. Yeah, I'd like it
She's
tidied
keeping
up.
her animosity.
But